got a monster chili up tonight. So this is a giant white habanero. This pepper right here, and it's a beautiful pheno, man. I mean, this thing is like just rock solid. I dig it on the stem. Look at the stem and the little bit of calyx right there. It's just a, like, I could tell the dude that grew this knows what they're doing, and takes a lot of care. And they picked, I think, one of the best looking phenos. And stem, I like it all. I get geeked out about chilies, and looking at them and everything and how intricate they are. Just, it's beautiful. I like how he cut the stem there perfect. Anyways, okay. This pod was sent to me by Richard Belliveau. Thank you, bro. Fellow subscriber to the channel over on YouTube, and which I absolutely love, appreciate. Richard hit me up on LinkedIn out of the clear blue, and of all places, on LinkedIn. Thought it was weird, but I was just like, okay, we got to chatting. So, fellow chili head, and he grows these. Whoa! And again, you can see it's a massive. It's a big pod. I mean, it's as big as my ear. You know what I mean? It's bigger than my eye for sure. You know what I mean? Anyway, so he says, I'd like to send you for review and to try if you'd like these. He was calling them giant whites, and I never heard of a giant white. I didn't know, but I was just like always up for it, right? It's chili, and so he says, yeah, I'm going to send you out some when they're fully ripened up and blah, blah, blah. And I thought just picturing, I didn't look anything up, just was like, all right, well, we'll see when we get them. I was picturing more of like a wax pepper or something like that, like a giant white or something. Didn't know he was talking about giant white habanero. So these are maybe 350, 400,000 on the Scoville on the high end, low end 100,000. I have a feeling this is going to be warm though. It's a beautiful pepper. I will tell you, it's an extremely hard pepper to photograph. Extremely hard. I'm not a photographer, but it was very hard to photograph for the thumbnail and my other stuff that I do. But nonetheless, I think it's going to be good. So a little background on this chili, and then we'll read the note that Richard sent me. Again, Richard, I really appreciate this. He also sent me a sauce that I'm very intrigued by, that we'll do a review on at some point. I got to do a couple other reviews on some sauces first, and then we'll get to that one. But since this was a fresh pod, I needed to get it in. So again, giant white habaneros originally were picked up from a farmer's market in Italy by an Italian grower, Luigi Morello, back in 92, 93, somewhere around there. It's originally, this pepper, from an unknown part of the Caribbean, and apparently some people call this a 7-pot white. I thought that was interesting, but I don't know about that, because there's a huge difference in heat. But let's cut it open and see what we got. Just ripped open on me. So there's one half. So that's a good, like, showing you how big this pepper is. It's a big guy. So that's your two halves. It smells kind of fruity. It smells like a habanero. It smells good. I don't know if I've ever had I've never had a giant white habanero, so this is cool. It's a new one for me. Smells fantastic. Anyways, Richard, this is for you. I appreciate you. You have no idea. I really appreciate you. Cheers, my friend. Mm. That one's for the birds, for sure. Mm. So, up in the placenta here, okay, where most of the heat, or all the heat is at, and generally centrally located, had such a good sweetness there, and you could it was juicy kind of with the oils a little bit, and it was real citrusy right there, like more than anywhere else in the pod, um, like noticeably different. Lower on the pod there, like this first bite and the first bite I took of the other half, there's like really no heat flavor, no real flavor at all, other than kind of like a bell pepper, almost like a earthy, fresh kind of taste. The more I work up the pepper, the more I'm getting a little bit more of a habanero-ish flavor. These aren't as sweet, in my opinion, or fruity as like an orange hab. Um, there it is again. Mm. It's a lot of pepper to chew up. A lot of pepper there. Um, phenomenal pepper though. That's a really good one. Really nice. I appreciate you, Richard, again, man. Really, I get geeky, man, about this, man. I was so stoked when you messaged me and were like, number one, just because I like to interact with fellow chili heads and people that are like-minded. You know what I mean? And so that alone, I value you for that, and I thank you for that friendship there. And but then the fact that you wanted to send me something that you grew, that you put your time and effort into, that it's kind of your baby. You know what I mean? That's the kind of peppers I want to eat right there. I mean, that's part of the story. That's part of the love of doing this. So it's building a little bit now that I'm kind of sitting here. It's all like front of the mouth burn. Like, it's going to sound weird to describe this way, but I don't know how else to describe it other than it's just all lips. But it's like, so if your tongue, this is your throat back here, this is the tip of your tongue, and then, your teeth, and, and then the outside part over here. So it's all front of the tongue forward, burning. It's weird. It's like, that's the part of the mouth that it's burning. Right at the tip of the tongue, not too much on the tongue, but a little bit. But it's not really going back that way anywhere. It's just all right up front, centralized. Basically, I know it's going to look weird, like I'm just trimming the goatee and the beard here, but like right in that area. You know what I'm saying? But it's phenomenal burn, phenomenal taste. Ooh, a little saliva there. Okay. So, anyways, like I said, Richard sent me that pod. Ooh, pepper burp, nice. And then a salsa that is super intriguing, really intriguing. But I wanted to read part of the note, but I don't want to get into the sauce too much because it just says, "Hello, Stephen. Enclosed is a giant white habanero that came from my plant in Austin, Texas. I find that white peppers have a taste more like white pepper, black peppercorns, white peppercorns." Okay, yeah. I mean, I gotta be honest, I don't know if I know the taste of white peppercorns, per se. I don't know. I've cooked with pink peppercorns, and the only reason I started doing that was because I liked the color. It fucking popped and it looked cool. But after a while, I've gotten that taste a little bit. But I use black pepper for fucking everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love black pepper. So I don't know, but I'll have to try some white peppercorns at some point. Okay, I don't want to read all that because we're going to get into the sauce at a later point. Most of Richard's note here is about that sauce. And then I'll read at the bottom, though. It does say, P.S. I'm always interested in the growers that you show on your videos. However, you sometimes hold a card up in the video that shows backwards, not easy to see. Maybe you might have better presentation of the grower that makes it easier for your fans to get in touch, brother. So he, that's how we got into Richard, my man, sent me. He was interested in the caterpillar pepper, Arabibi gusana peppers. I made a video on that and reviewed that like maybe a year ago. It was, and I couldn't remember, who the grower was or where I came across those pods. So Richard was interested in that. Now I remember, buddy. Now I remember the initial contact we had was about that video. Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, again, Richard, look, I've bought in peppers, from so many different small growers and different people that it's sometimes hard for me to remember. But I looked back at that video, and again, in every video that I do, I always highlight the grower and I mention their name and their business numerous times. generally numerous times, but always, mostly always, right at the beginning of the video. My videos are long, and so sometimes you can miss it and blah blah blah. I get it, but always within the first couple of minutes, I'm talking about the grower and who it is. So I know that sometimes the business card and the stuff is backwards because that's the way I film my videos. The only other way I know on my phone how to flip that, I can do that. But, and again, I'm not super tech savvy, so maybe you have some pointers or somebody else out there does, But when I do that, it's like, then I can't see myself in the video. And I can't see the timer also. And that both are important to me. I like to be able to see my presentation. And I like to see the timer up there so I know like how long I'm fucking dragging my videos on for, so I know when it's like, okay, we need to start wrapping this up. They're backwards. I get it. You know what I mean? I've watched people's videos and thought the same thing. Like, dude, you got to fix that. Like it's a problem for me. So I'm sorry about that, you know what I mean? But until I can figure out a better way, or if there is a better way, I'm going to have to, I'm going to continue filming my videos this way just because of those reasons that I just said. But that doesn't mean I'm not taking what you've expressed and told me to heart. But what I think I will do a better job of moving forward is maybe in the description on YouTube on the videos, I'll try to add a link if the company has it. Like let's say Linda's Fiery Treats, for example. I can tag her and I can also just name it out again, which a lot of YouTubers, a lot of content creators, people and shit, that they do that. I think you guys know my videos are somewhat simplistic and I like it that way. I add a thumbnail, I got playlists, I got a short title usually, pretty short to the point. And I don't put a lot in the description. But I might start doing that because that'll help too. You know what I mean? But again, always at the beginning of the video, if it's a pod video for sure, I'm mentioning who the grower is and generally the name and the company. So person's name, personal name, and the company. But I'll tell you, if you're interested in buying peppers and 85% of the growers that I buy pods from and have been buying pods from for the past 4 or 5 years, almost all of them, 75%, from a Facebook group called Hot. I think I should put this one in the description for you because I think it's Hot Pepper Marketplace, Buy Sale Trade, something like that. It's like 21,000 people in the group, and it's just it's fantastic group. That's where I found some of the oddball, random pods and growers, people that maybe aren't super well known, the Johnny Scovilles, the Heat 101s, the Roger Trayers, the League of Fires, all the chili heads, everybody, talk about some of these growers, big time growers like Lone Star Mastiffs, Seriously Hot Peppers, Linda, John Verde. There's a bunch, but the smaller guys all in that marketplace. So again, it was Mark Wyman and it was Wyman Enterprises. And I'm going to be honest with you, I've bought some pods from time to time and I remember that name now. I remember buying those peppers and I was a little bit suspect about it, not because the guy was weird or anything like that. It was just, it seemed like a weird name, Wyman Enterprises. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I never, so, but from what I remember, the box was super killer. Those pods were great. I reviewed a bunch of other pods for him. So maybe if you go to where that video was, a few videos before, a few videos after, or probably pods from the same guy, and maybe I give a little more information. So Richard, I apologize, man. Like I felt like I needed to hold up my end of the bargain because you sent me that pod, which I fucking love. And the least I was trying to do was get you that info so you could get you some of those Arabibis. So Richard loves those pods apparently, and they're great peppers, little caterpillar peppers, you know. And I'd love to get you hooked up with some. So, like I said, though, this whole season and from here on out, I'm going to keep my eyes open for some Arabibi Gusanos for you. And when I come across a grower that has a handful, a box full, you know, whatever, I'm gonna hit you up right away. I'm gonna let you know who. And I'll try to find that Wyman guy again. I don't know. Maybe what I'll do is I'll go to that group on Facebook, the marketplace, and I'll type in. I'll start doing a little more research there. Anyways, so I appreciate you for that, dude. Super cool, man. I absolutely love reviewing pods. I like eating peppers. That's what I do. That's what I like. Besides hot sauce challenges and other things. So you made my day, you know what I mean, by sending me that pod. It's really good. It's still got a good lip burn. Anyways, guys, my video is getting way long, but I wanted to give this video some love, some time, some attention, because I really appreciate Richard, but I appreciate everybody. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Richard, I'm sure I'll talk to you soon. I'll also might be a few weeks before I get to that sauce. I don't know. I owe some other sauce reviews that I'm going to do when I run out of pods here. By this weekend. So maybe next week I'll get to it. Anyways, thank you. Appreciate it again, Richard. Everybody watching, thank you guys. I love you. It's been your #1 hot sauce guy. That was the giant white habanero.